Fawn here. With everybody going crazy about Jeffrey Dahmer and that Netflix series, it was so surprising to me. I'm like, y'all didn't hear about this? Maybe because I had a law class in high school, bro. I heard about all types of serial killers. So when I heard the internet going crazy, I'm like, damn, y'all never heard of this man? Like, y'all did not know what he did or something? Like, y'all just not hearing about this? I thought everybody knew about Dahmer. But that's not why we here. Casual. 7 times animals became serial killers. I don't know what's worse. A human going on a kill streak or an animal. They both bad. Which animals went on a kill streak? They was finna drop a damn quad feed. So, with that being said, if you're new, like, comment, subscribe. And if you're not new, you just keep coming back. Subscriber, what are you doing? And let's go.
The following video contains graphic descriptions of some of the most brutal animal attacks in human history. Viewer discretion and a fresh change of clothes are strongly advised. Oh, and happy Halloween.
I fuck with Halloween, bro. That's all I see on my social media now. Everybody talking about their Halloween costume. It's just a bunch of motherfuckers talking about how they're just gonna dress the same and like barely any clothes. And it's so weird. I don't know. Maybe Halloween don't hit. Bro, my Halloween got taken away when I was like 8, bro. My dad was like, you too old for that. I feel like he just didn't want to take me trick-or-treating no more. But my Halloween got taken away when I was 8. So, like, I just never got into the Halloween spirit, bro. But, yeah, all I hear is people talking about how they gonna dress up in these sexy-ass bunnies and cops and wear barely any clothes. I'm like, damn, why is Halloween so horny?
The African wilderness houses some of the most dangerous wildlife found on Earth. But what happens when one of its most feared predators starts hunting humans? In 1898, the British government decided to build a railway spanning from a port in Mombasa to Lake Victoria. The project was nicknamed the Lunatic Express, since many saw it as a massive waste of time and resources, along with being unnecessarily dangerous. So dangerous that most African natives refused to be involved in construction. So the British imported thousands of laborers from India to work on the bridge. These workers are both unfamiliar with the African brush, along with all the lethal animals in it. It wouldn't be long until several workers would go missing, but at first the British government brushed them off as deserters. But as the number of missing men grew larger, soon the horrific truth would come out. A pair of maneless male lions had been attacking the unsuspecting workers.
What does make sense? You're in Africa, you're working on a railroad, and ain't nobody told you about the fucking exotic big cats that be lurking around here. Like, I feel like that should have been the first thing I should have been told. Like, if I'm working on this damn project for you, and there's a bunch of exotic big cats running around this motherfucker, I feel like I should know that. You're just not gonna tell me there's fucking lions that can maul me. You're just not gonna tell me that. You're just gonna have me work on this project with no info about what kind of crazy animals y'all got down here. Now we all getting picked off one by one like the predator hunting us or something.
And eating them. Lions don't typically view humans as viable prey, and adult lions are actually naturally wary of humans. But lions are also incredibly adaptable, and these lions were hunting the workers like they were gazelle. While the men were working on the bridge during the day, the 2 lions were nowhere to be seen. It wasn't until they turned into their campsites for the night that the lions showed up. These lions would slip into the campsites undetected and drag helpless workers out of their tents to their death.
I ain't gonna lie, death by a lion gotta be crazy. Death by any big cat, especially one that'll kill you slowly. What's a big cat that'll kill you slowly? I feel like they all just pretty much go for the neck or head to kill you instantly, but I don't know. I don't know if that's just how they hunt animals or they do the same to humans. They go for the neck and head. I feel like they should. I don't know why they would change their technique because I'm a fucking human. But what big cat kills the slowest? Because I feel like that would be the worst thing to go. Oh my god. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, kind of terrifying. Bro. I'm not, fuck that. You gotta imagine. You in the wild. No, imagine you one of the workers. And you just hear this. Bro, I'm quitting the next day. Like, bro, I'm quitting that day. I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I can't.
In one gruesome attack, one of the lions had grabbed a well-respected and powerful sick worker and ragdolled him out of his tent, while the other workers could only listen to his bone-chilling screams of agony. The next day, his fellow workers found him, and from the position he was sitting in, it appeared as though he had survived. But as the men drew closer, they realized not only was he completely lifeless, but the lions had licked the skin completely off his cheek.
I was about to say, imagine surviving after that. What? No, kill me. If I survive any kind of big cat attack, kill me. Or if you're not, I'm doing it myself. I'm like, what is there to live for? My arm probably gone, my leg gone. I can't walk for the rest of my life.
Cheeks, which formed a grisly smile. The men tried building thorn fences called bomas to keep the lions out. Unfortunately, nobody told the men that lions can leap well over 10 feet and easily clear a boma. And as the attacks and the missing men piled up, the lions started getting more confident. At first, weeks would go by between attacks, but soon, fatal maulings would happen almost daily. And while early on, only one of the rogue males would enter the campsite at a time, soon they'd start slaughtering workers together. In one chilling incident, they had moved the site of a hospital which the lions had began targeting. They moved the hospital over a mile away and set up the new hospital as a trap for the lions. Only a day later, the lions found the new hospital and continued their carnage. The lions even appeared to have plot armor. At one point, they had succeeded in trapping one of the male lions, but when the enraged predator started tearing the trap apart, panicked sepoys opened fire and missed every shot. One shot managed to sprint.
That's some anime shit. Nah, that's some real anime shit. Like, that is some anime shit for real.
From the trap door, allowing the lion to slip away. And as the attacks persisted, it appeared as though the lions had gone from killing to eat to just killing. We don't know just how many lives were taken, but according to Lieutenant John Patterson, up to 135 men were lost by the time the construction and the lions were finished. And we don't know for sure what led these lions to go on a human hunting spree. One of the lions was found to have an abscess in his teeth, causing a painful infection that may have been too debilitating to hunt his usual prey, forcing him to seek out easier targets. One theory is that in the past, Arab slave trade caravans would run through Savo, and men that would have made no money on the market, like the old, injured, sick, or dying, would just be tossed down into the brush. It's possible that these lions of Savo were fed by these crimes against humanity and learned that humans as a food option is never completely off the table.
That was only number one. Ain't it supposed to be 7 times? God damn, that was only number one.
In 1945, a U.S. Navy heavy cruiser delivered uranium to the island of Tinian for what would end up being the world's first nuclear weapon used in war, which would be dropped in Hiroshima, Japan. Japan would get its revenge when a torpedo struck the USS Indianapolis as it was en route to the Philippines. In only 12 minutes, the imposing military cruiser was underwater, along with anyone unlucky enough to escape in time. Although, considering what would happen, maybe they were the lucky ones. Because as the stranded crew floated adrift in the Philippine Gulf, they quickly realized they had a major problem. Sharks, likely oceanic whitetips, were stalking the hapless sailors. At first, the sharks simply cleaned up the casualties, feeding on the bodies of the deceased. But soon, they turned their attention to the survivors. As much as the sailors tried to float together, invariably someone would drift away from the group, and that's when the patient sharks would move in. According to survivors, the men would thrash around and scream hysterically before being pulled under. And only a short while later, a life jacket would resurface, and nothing else. And as the dehydration, intense exposure, and saltwater poisoning took its toll, some men would hallucinate that
that saltwater ain't no joke. When I was in Miami, I went underwater. That saltwater had me like, that saltwater ain't no joke.
They were being rescued and would swim away from the group towards a ship that wasn't there, not realizing they were paddling towards their own death. Even worse, some of the men would become delirious and start attacking their fellow shipmates, forcing them to literally cast them off towards the sharks. This living nightmare lasted 5 days, and when salvation finally came, only 317 out of the 1,196 men could be accounted for. But the psychological torture didn't end there for some of them. Captain Charles B. McVeigh would become the first captain to ever be court-martialed for losing his ship, and the reasoning was because he didn't zigzag. Even Commander Hashimoto, the guy that sunk his ship, testified that there was nothing McVeigh could have done, but it didn't matter. America had its scapegoat, and it was him. McVeigh regularly received hate mail and threats of violence from the family of the fallen. In 2000, he would be exonerated and found to have committed no wrongdoing, but not before the harassment and crippling survivor's guilt would break him. On November 6, 1968, the captain that had survived war, man-eating sharks, and dehydration took his own life.
Yeah, that survivor guilt ain't no joke. And it don't help that y'all on my ass for something I had no control over. But yeah, that survivor guilt that ain't no joke. All you can think about is why am I here? Why am I here and not them? That survivor's guilt is no joke.
While holding a toy sailor he had been given as a boy for good luck. The true monsters of this story weren't the sharks. The most dangerous bear in the world isn't the grizzly bear or even the polar bear, but it's widely considered to be the sloth bear. Because while adult grizzlies...
I learned about bears. What made this motherfucker the best one? Well, the most dangerous one.
And polar bears have no natural predators, sloth bears regularly run fades with tigers and leopards. That generational trauma means you have an animal that has all the tools of a predator, but the mindset of prey. And that makes them terrifyingly unpredictable. The fact that habitat loss and encroachment causes them to come into constant contact with humans
like my dog in the face
only makes it 10 times worse. The sloth bear of Mysore was infamous for unaliving 12 people and severely injuring another 24. Armed with wolverine claws and a devastating bite, sloth bears have a nasty habit of attacking the faces of their victims. Those that survived often lost an eye or a nose or had a chunk of their cheek ripped off. Those that didn't survive often had their faces torn off completely, and in some cases the bear ate the bodies of its victims.
Are we talking about like face torn off like this? Can I show Travis the chimp? But shit, like, bro, God, is you two like real sensitive with this shit? I feel like I can show it, right? Nah, cause Travis really messed her up. That is crazy. I feel like we should just, I can show this, right? There's ain't nothing wrong with it. It's on the internet, right? It's on the internet. Right? Was it like this? Is this what the sloth bear was doing to people? I ain't gonna lie, this is a very sad story. God damn.
A far cry from the insects and fruits this Baloo of the jungle usually eats. Other bodies recovered had hands missing, and in some cases their entire chest cavity ripped open. Some described the horrific injuries as being the work of an animal with the intent, but not necessarily the knowledge to kill. Kenneth Anderson had attempted to hunt the bear, while also saving a man who had been mauled to the point of sheer incapacitation. As Anderson tried carrying the man to safety, it got dark fast, which was probably why he didn't see the rock that tripped him and caused him to break his ankle. The immobilized Anderson survived the night, but the man he tried to save didn't. Anderson would be the one to put the murderous bear out of commission, but we still don't know what made this usually termite-eating bear go full Jeff Dahmer. Maybe it was revenge for a previous attack or a lost cub. Maybe everyone has a limit, and that bear hit his. The next story takes place on Ramri Island, off the coast of Myanmar, which borders China, Bangladesh, and India. In 1945, the British pulled up with the intention of establishing a new air base, but first had to contend with the Japanese Imperial Army, which had already captured the island. The British flanked the Japanese, who, rather than surrender, opted to try to escape by cutting through miles of dense, boggy, uncharted mangroves. As they did, the British circled the mangrove swamp, essentially stranding the men in the unforgiving terrain. Venomous snakes, spiders, and disease-carrying mosquitoes were almost an afterthought after the men realized they had waded directly into saltwater crocodile territory. The details of what happened next have been debated for years.
Is it gonna be about a crocodile?
Many say that the up to 20-foot-long crocs converged on the defenseless soldiers.
When I see that swamp, I'm like, it's gonna be about a crocodile, ain't it?
Before moving on to the struggling and infirm. One British soldier described hearing 3 distinct sounds: the incessant firing of rifles overhead, the erratic splashing of excited crocodiles, and the blood-curdling cries of the men being dismembered and devoured alive. According to him, the sounds were deafening. Some men sought to take cover in the trees, only a couple feet above the marauding reptiles, when they made a horrific discovery. Crocs can easily launch themselves several feet out of the water, and the men that hadn't climbed high enough were caught in those snare trap jaws and torn to shreds. Another chilling realization was the intelligence of the cold-blooded predator. According to multiple sources, the crocs would use their tails as battering rams to slam against the base of the trees, hoping to knock loose a prize like a twisted human piñata. Like African crocodiles camping in rivers during great migrations, these crocodiles seem perfectly content to bide their time. We have no way of knowing exactly how many lives were lost on that island, but we do know it was very likely in the several hundreds. We also have no way to confirm just how many were taken by the crocodiles, and how many simply flatlined to dehydration, sickness, other wildlife, or simply casualties of war. However, this is widely considered to be the most lethal crocodile attack in human history. And since saltwater crocodiles are capable of living 70 plus years, the chances that at least one of those same crocodiles are still there are low, but they're not zero. Crocodiles are one of the most stubbornly resilient things on Earth. They've been around for about 200 million years and have barely changed. And with a wide-ranging diet and few if any natural predators, crocs can live virtually anywhere there's warmth and water. So it makes sense that one of the most infamous animal serial killers of all time was a crocodile. Gustav was an 18-foot reptilian Ted Bundy, rumored to have been responsible for up to 300 names missing from the census. According to legend, the massive Nile predator was too bulky to hunt the typical fish, antelope, and zebra, leading him to go after bigger, tougher game like hippos, buffalo, and even
Damn,
humans.
he was going after
The
hippos?
Burundi butcher would allegedly hunt anything that came into its line of sight without prejudice. And like all crocs, his favorite method of hunting would have likely been lying in wait in the water before exploding and unleashing a 3,000-pound bite force to crush whatever was unlucky enough to get caught in its jaws, before using the infamous death roll to shred their victim into bite-sized chunks. It's likely most human casualties were adults collecting water.
Seen a crocodile. Crocodile is on
not realizing
somebody
the
under the
disturbance was
crocodile
basically ringing
arm.
the dinner bell.
It was
Gustav
crazy.
was also disturbingly indestructible, with several eyewitnesses describing what they swore were bullet wounds tattooed across its armored skin. But the eeriest part was that for a monster nearly the length of a bus, Gustav was unexplainably never caught. In one attempt, researchers placed a live goat in a cage as bait to lure the beast out. After a storm, the next morning the cage was empty, but Gustav was nowhere to be found. We don't know how old he is, how long he had been hunting humans, just how many people had been lost to him, or even if he's still alive. There were some reports of Gustav having been shot by a hunter in 2019, but with no photographic evidence, there's still a chance that he's out there
3 years
prowling the
ago.
rivers of Burundi. The way I see it, there's only 3 possible options. 1, he's dead. 2, he's still out there serving as unethical population control. Or 3, he has NordVPN. Because NordVPN creates an encrypted tunnel for you and your data and protects your identity.
This motherfucker. You know what? We gotta watch this.
Your IP address, allowing you to go off the grid untrackable and untraceable, just like Gustav. And like Crocs, who can be found almost anywhere, NordVPN gives you the option to connect to thousands of different servers across countries all over. If you want to enjoy the perks of Australian entertainment without also entertaining the wildlife, Australian servers are just a click away. And unlike the allegedly 2,000-pound Gustav, with fast, reliable servers, you never have to feel like you sold your speed for security. With NordVPN's threat protection, you can enjoy your internet experience without also being plagued by ads, trackers, and malware. So to get the most out of your streaming service, go to nordvpn.com/casualgeographic
I tried to get Nord
for a huge discount
I didn't
on
like.
2-year plan.
I
with an
didn't like
additional
their
4 months
membership.
free.
Sorry.
With Nord's money-back guarantee, it's virtually risk-free.
I'm not paying
Nothing
for that
about
damn
Gustav
VPN.
was risk-free. And with Salties having the strongest recorded bite force of any animal, the only guarantee was that anything caught in those vice grip jaws was something you're not getting back. In 2003, locals in Malawi were so terrified of one animal that it drove 4,000 of them to completely abandon their villages to seek refuge. The marauding beast had mauled 3 people into chalk outlines and severely disfigured another.
It's going to be about a big cat, and the big cat is going to be a leopard.
16. Those that survived were essentially crippled for life, with some missing both hands and legs, with others missing eyes and ears. In one gruesome attack, a woman had gotten her jaw completely detached. The mysterious assailant was so feared and avoided capture for so long that some believed that the attacks were the work of a supernatural creature. In truth, these people were being stalked and hunted by a rabid hyena.
Fuck! I thought it would be a leopard. I thought it would be a leopard. All right. I don't know why. I just wanted it to be a leopard. All right, a hyena.
In truth, these people were being stalked and hunted by a rabid hyena. Although they're armed with arguably the most devastating bite
like
of any land
the
mammal.
back end of a hyena pisses me off. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like the back end of a hyena pisses me off. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like when I think about a hyena, this is not what I imagine. I don't know why.
Hyenas are actually wary of humans, but as many will tell you, anything that gets rabies quickly becomes a different kind of animal, especially when that animal has jaws strong enough to amputate an elephant. The rabid hyena terrorized the people of Malawi for weeks, but whether the actual animal responsible for the maimings was caught and killed was never confirmed.
Bro, how
The
are you not annoyed? Hold on.
Was never confirmed.
How are you not annoyed? Like, you got hella flies on them, or gnats, or mosquitoes. Just hella, just whatever. Gnats, mosquitoes, fleas, like whatever these things are on them. Like, how are you not annoyed? Like, I would be so annoyed. Like, I gotta roll on the ground, jump in some water or something. I would be so annoyed.
Was never confirmed.
All right, let's guess the next
most
one.
infamous animal mass murderer of all time
This is gonna be about a chimpanzee.
lived in Nepal in the Kumaon district of India. The Bengal tiger of
Fuck! Why did I say chimpanzee? What about this scenery gave away a chimpanzee, you dickhead?
of all time lived in Nepal in the Kumaon district of India. The Bengal tiger of Champawat was believed to be responsible
the best
for
big cat in the world gonna
436
be the
less people
dangerous.
on Earth. According to research, the carnage started in Nepal, but when hunters were called in, the tiger successfully evaded all of them. Eventually, she was driven out of the area and swam across a river and invaded India, where the attacks only got worse. The homicidal big cat would typically target young women and children and would often travel up to 20 miles following a kill, making it that much harder to capture her. And unlike most tigers, who typically hunt during dusk or dawn, the man-eater at Champawat almost exclusively caught bodies during broad daylight. She became so reviled that
She
locals no
slid
longer
on
referred to her as a
her
cat,
ops in
but as the devil
broad
of India.
daylight. Hey, casual. I was loud as hell in my right ear. Scared you? Okay, bro. Nah. You in the dark. You in the dark. All you hear is this. Bro, I could have 10 people with me. I'm not.
The tiger's reverberating roar paralyzed entire villages, with grown men refusing to leave their huts to go to work, lest the rampaging predator turned them into a statistic. It was believed that the tigress had been shot by an especially cruel hunter, which broke several of her canine teeth, leaving her mortally wounded. It's likely that this injury, along with the fact that tigers are one of the few animals that'll actively seek revenge.
Do it grow back? Like, once it's over, it's over. Like, once them teeth broke, it is done, right?
And as a highly
Too much
intelligent
for learning.
predator, she was constantly adapting and able to consistently avoid capture.
I got from
When
that
she was
is like
finally
humans.
taken down, it
They
was
got
clear from the
one set of
nasty
teeth.
injuries the tiger had
Once
sustained
those
that
sets
she
are
was
on,
not
they
the
get
villain
another
of this
set,
story.
and after
That
that,
doesn't
they
change
on
the
their
fact
own.
that she went out as the most prolific man murker in nature. And if you think you're safe because you don't live in Asia, just keep in mind that there are more tigers in the United States than in the rest of the world combined.
Really? What else? That's casual. I ain't gonna lie. That video is kind of terrifying me. It was the screams. 7 crazy animals that went on killing sprees for unknown reasons. Maybe depending on what you feel like is worse to get killed by. I don't know which is worse to get killed by: a lion or a crocodile, or a sloth bear, or a shark. Whichever one. I feel like getting killed by any big cat is worse than getting killed by anything else. Maybe a bear. Whichever animal on this list kills the slowest, that's the worst one to get killed by. But that's good. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on all my socials. See you on the next one. Peace.